Well, I think we've had a great spring so far. The quarterback position is obviously a very important position, replacing a very, very good leader in Brandon Cowie, and it's a ton of experience. I mean, he was here for 6 years. But we have two guys really that are battling really hard. Jake Brown is a senior and has a ton of experience. He also is a very good leader. He's got great knowledge of the playbook. And he's a competitor, and he makes a lot of plays. So Jake's off to a really good start, and he's also competing with Garrett Young. Garrett Young is a redshirt freshman, a little bit less experience, obviously, has a pretty strong arm and some good athleticism. So both the quarterbacks I'm very pleased with so far. They're doing a really good job of taking care of the football and really running the show on offense, getting us into the right checks, getting us out of the wrong plays. And so far, off to a good start from a quarterback perspective. The wideout position is looking very good. We're very veteran. We lose David Walter from last year, who is a very reliable receiver and red zone threat for us the past few years. But we do return everybody else. Ian Fisher is our top returning wide receiver. He is a competitor, and he is one of the best route runners that I've seen. He's not always the fastest wide out, but he knows how to run routes. He knows how to get open. He understands defenses. David Fallish is another returner who has done who's had a really good career up to this point. We're expecting big things out of him in his senior year. He's a very reliable he's reliable really in everything that he does: route running, blocking, catching. He's very good from that standpoint. Jacob Wenslick, a slot receiver for us as well, is our fastest wide receiver and has really taken some nice strides to hopefully taking that next step this season and making some big plays for us where he was in some limited roles last season. And then Ben Hartley would be another receiver that has a lot of potential. He's very smooth route runner. He's a taller kid and very good hands. And then last, Kevin Kirkland has a lot of speed. He is really catching the ball well this spring, which has been a little bit of a weakness for him, and now he's making plays. So I'm really excited about all these guys and the type of group that we have coming back. I think from an offensive standpoint, we're working on getting consistent, and that's the bottom line. To be a very good offense, you have to be consistent. You have to be physical and master the fundamentals. So that's what we've really been working on this spring. And at the end of the day, consistency running the ball, consistency on whether it's a hitch or a slant route, the easy passes. And then at the end of the day, for us to be successful offensively, we have to take care of the football, which I think we've done an outstanding job of this spring. We have to be outstanding on third downs, because that's really going to win us or lose the game. If we can stay on the field and drive down the field, I think we're going to have a very good season offensively. And then when we get down in the red zone, of course, we've got to get touchdowns. We've got to get 7 points every time. And those are the things that we've been working on. We've gotten a lot of reps this spring, and I'm pretty optimistic heading into this fall.
Yeah, it's been good. We're fortunate enough to have quite a bit of experience in that room between Johnny and James at tailback and Sherby at fullback. There's a lot of game reps with those guys all being in their last year eligibility. So the big thing right now is working on their fundamentals and shoring up some of our aiming points in the run game and pass protection, and then at the same time getting the younger guys some reps where we can try to create some more depth at those two positions. Some of the guys that people may not know yet, Eric Kostreva is a local guy from Ishpeming. We're hoping to create some depth at the tailback position as well. Jordan Ferguson at the fullback position is going to help us, and he's going to play in a couple different roles, we hope, come fall. And then Andrew Rose is another guy at tailback that has gotten some valuable reps, and I think over the course of the practices we had so far in the spring has shown the most growth in terms of from when we first started till now. So I think the extra reps are really helping Andrew out, and like I said earlier, the thought with those younger guys is to hopefully be able to get them to the point where we can rely on them, come fall if guys get banged up or we need to spell somebody, where we have that depth that we can lean on. Our evaluations, through these next 2 practices are probably where we're going to get our most work out of in terms of getting a real read on guys getting real reps. The spring game is fun for everybody. We split teams up here, so there's guys playing with 1s, 2s, and 3s all across the board. That's more to have fun and wrap spring drills up. But these last 2 practices we have, we're going to get some more evaluation out from top to bottom. So whether you're the number 1 or the number 6 guy in our room, these next 2 practices, we're really going to get our evaluations for them.
Well, I think anytime you're in spring ball, it's a great time to get back with the guys, on a consistent basis, whether it's the meetings, the practice time, just being around them, and I think figuring out what we're good at, and we've done a good job of analyzing that in the off season, and then taking that to spring ball practice, and getting better at some of our run schemes that maybe we weren't as crisp at last fall, and continue to see what our guys are good at. It doesn't matter what as coaches we're good at, but what they're good at executing, and continue to carry that over into the summer and into fall camp. I feel pretty good about the group coming back. We have a lot of guys that have played a lot of football. Obviously coaching the offensive line. They're not always household names, but Jeremy Bell and Cal McCarty and Seth Malcolm and Luke Schultz have all played a lot of snaps for us here at Michigan Tech, either as starters or as key backups for us. We're in the process of evaluating a few other guys that going into this season or going into this camp or going into spring ball rather have had really good off seasons with Joey Waneke, and Aaron Curtis has had a very good camp situation right now, and along with Carl Pietola and Tyler Gildersleeve and Jason Limbeck, and to name a few guys, and trying to figure out what those guys' roles could be for us this fall moving forward. We always start, with a meeting, and that's one of my favorite parts of the day is being in the classroom with the guys, watching film, evaluating their performance, making our schemes better, that sort of thing. It's not always camp happy in there some days, they might say, but I like to take a very educational approach to it, and hopefully they're coming to the meeting the same way they go to a class here at Michigan Tech. And then, from there we go out and we do some individual drills as that we need to work on, and then hopefully we take those individual drills to a team situation and be better at execution maybe than we were the day before, the practice before, the scrimmage before, and continue to build on those key learning elements that we need to do to be successful on Saturdays.
Using the tight ends a lot here at Tech, so they're a key to our offense. So we got 2 young tight ends that are developing nicely. Hopefully they can contribute in the fall. And we also got a veteran in Doug Fabry, and our 2 young guys are Cody Roebuck and Lucas Merriam, and we're gonna hopefully develop those guys into tight ends that we have here at Tech. It's a lot, with the young guys, it's a lot going back down to basics and running through drills, making sure all their technique's good. We have smart kids here at Tech, so they understand the playbook. They get in there, they know where to be. It's how to get there kind of thing, and moving them along in that direction. Drill wise, we have a lot of run blocking. We got to learn how to. One of my sayings is for the tight ends, we got to be as good as the tackle inside of us, and as just as good as the receiver on the outside of us. So we have to be one of the best athletes on the field run blocking, and we also have to go out there and catch passes. Hopefully, by the time we get to the end of spring practice, they're ready to go for fall. Kind of have an idea who's going to play at the position, and who's ready to play in the GLIAC. There's a certain you have to be ready and prepared and be a guy to play in this league. So we should have a good idea, especially with our young guys, where they should be at the end of spring ball.